Hey everyone, it's Margot here, and today's video is going to be a crash course on all of the words that I used most frequently when I was in Thailand. So I'm going to give you kind of a rundown of just the words that I found that I used the most in the 4 months that I stayed in Thailand. So if this is something that interests you, please keep on watching, and also don't forget to hit the like button down below and subscribe to me if you want to see more of my content. Alright, so I just want to preface this video by saying that I am in no way an expert on the Thai language, and I'm only here to teach you really what I think is absolutely relevant for you if you are planning on traveling Thailand. And basically this is kind of a case-by-case scenario, so you might need to know more words than what I am giving you today, say if you have dietary restrictions or if you plan on visiting an area of Thailand where English is a lot less common than the more kind of central hubs of Thailand. So really what I'm here to give you is just everything that I learned while I was in Thailand and everything that I found to be the most useful while I was in Thailand. So let's just start off with some of the basics that I think that you should know before we even hop into learning the Thai language. First and foremost, the Thai language is a tonal language, meaning that if you say something like this, it might mean something different from what you would be saying if you said something like this. So using your tone can really matter in certain instances in the Thai language. With most of the words that we'll be learning today, if you kind of have a kind sound to the way that you say it, you probably won't run into any issues. And I think that's important to know before we jump into this, is that even if you're not perfect in pronouncing these words or your tone isn't totally perfect, I think a lot of what Thais are looking for when you're communicating to them in their language is your intention. So if you say, these words with a kind tone, and if you say it with a smile, even if you say something that isn't totally appropriate, I'm certain that most Thais will realize that you mean, the latter and the more innocent thing that you're saying. But I do want to preface that just be aware that the way that you say things does matter a lot in this language. And I mean, even in English, tone still does matter, but it doesn't have quite as much weight as it does in the Thai language. The second thing that I also want you to know before we hop into this is that in the Thai language, there is kind of a word that we say at the end of our phrases or at the end of saying even simple words to tell the person that we're speaking with that we respect them. So for women, what we would say at the end of, saying a word or a little phrase is ka, ka. So, and then for men, what you would say is ka. So this is kind of a confusing thing to wrap your head around because obviously in the English language, we don't have anything like that. We don't have a word that we say at the end of every phrase to indicate that we respect the person. It would just be assumed. But when we're in Thailand, that is not necessarily the case. So if I were you, in most instances, I would always be ending my phrases with ka if I were a woman. And then of course, if you were a man, you would say kap. Or more simply, some people do say cup if you're a man, and that's also acceptable. The third thing that I do want to talk about before we hop into the words that I think you should know is the way, which is something that most people would probably have seen before or be at least somewhat familiar with, but this is a Thai kind of gesture that we do to someone that is older than us when we greet them or when we say goodbye or when we say thank you. So that is kind of the key thing. If the person appears to be older than you, then it would be appropriate to say sawadee ka, which is hi, and to do the way at the same time to indicate that you respect them and just to be kind of polite. Now, you can also respond with a way if someone gives you a way, if that makes sense. So if you enter, say, a shop and someone that is younger than you says sawadee ka, and they give you kind of the way. I feel like I'm not saying that right, but if they way to you, then it would be appropriate for you to also do the same and respond hello to them as well. So now that all of those essential details are out of the way, let's get into some of the words that I think you should know. So the first thing that you will use hands down the most while you're in Thailand is saying hello and goodbye to people. Now, this is similar to kind of aloha in Hawaiian, where you can say this when you're greeting someone, and you can also say it when you are saying goodbye to someone. For women, we would say sawadee ka. And for men, it would be sawadee ka. So that is probably the most common word that you will use while you are in Thailand. And this is an absolute essential. Please do not go without saying it because you're afraid you're gonna have a weird accent. Thai people appreciate this so much, and at the bare minimum, you should at least know this. The next two words that I think you should know are very commonly used and very simple as well, and that would be learning how to say yes and no. So when we want to say yes in Thai, we just simply say chai. And I'll put that up here for you. So yes means chai in Thai. And then to say no, we say my chai, my chai. But yeah, these were the three words that I probably use most commonly. And then the fourth one, actually, this fourth one I probably use more than yes and no, and that would be khap kun ka, which is thank you in Thai, simply. Just khap kun ka, or if you are a guy, once again, you would say khap kun kap. So now let's move into some of the maybe less common terms that I use, but I still found very helpful. The first set of words that I do want to get into is most appropriate to use when you are in a cab with a Thai taxi driver who maybe doesn't understand English super well. I found it very convenient to learn how to say turn left, turn right, and U-turn I actually used a couple of times while I was there. So if we want to tell the taxi driver to turn right, you would say liao sai, liao sai. So that would mean that you would want the taxi driver to turn right. Now, to tell your taxi driver to turn left, you would say liao kwa. And that basically just means turn left. And then finally for U-turn, if you've really found yourself in a pickle and you are going in the completely wrong direction, you can just say kaplot. The next thing I do want to get into is kind of a simple one, and it might not even apply to you if you hate this dish, but I found it convenient to be able to order my favorite Thai meal in the Thai language, so that, you know, wherever I was or whichever restaurant I ended up at, if I couldn't understand the menu at all, or I, didn't know any of what they had, I would simply say that I wanted kapao mu. Kapao mu, which basically means Thai basil, which is a very common dish in Thailand, made with pork. So mu signifies pork, and krapao means Thai basil, basically. That was my favorite meal. If you haven't tried it, I suggest that you try it while you're in Thailand, or even if you are not in Thailand, maybe try to make it because it is super good. But yeah, that was pretty much one of the only meals that I was able to order in Thai, and that was pretty much what I ate every day if it wasn't just pad Thai. So if you know that you have a meal that you'll really like in Thailand, maybe learn how to order it in Thai so that whenever you find yourself in a restaurant, say where your waiter or your waitress does not understand any English, you have that to fall back on and you can order a meal that you know you will like. On that note, another thing that I would often say if I was ordering this exact meal, Thai basil with pork, I would say that I wanted it a little bit spicy rather than the full-fledged kind of super spice that Thai people tend to get, because I do have an unforgiving stomach. So yeah, sometimes I would order this meal kind of half spicy, and to do that, I would simply say ped nit noi, ped nit noi. And that would kind of indicate to the waitress that I was a baby and I couldn't handle the full spice. But it's handy to have if ever you just cannot handle spicy food that day. So that is another kind of food related thing that I think is very convenient to know. So we're already kind of nearing the end of words that I most commonly used while I was in Thailand, but I do want to go over some of the things that you might not need to know per se, but it might be good to know in certain instances. Sorry is a really good thing to know, and I still to this day am not certain if I'm saying it totally correct, but from what I understood, sorry in Thai is kotodka. Kotodka. And I looked this up on a YouTube video and she said the same thing, but I don't know, sometimes I would get some funny looks when I'd say that, not sure why, but I think it's a good thing to know. It's a good thing to throw out there if ever, you feel really bad or you made a mistake or you were in someone's way. It's just, a good way to acknowledge that you are apologetic. So for guys, it would be kotodka, of course, and for women, it's kotoka. This next one was kind of something that I learned while I was studying abroad, and I had some friends that were also taking Thai courses, and they taught me how to say, "What is your name?" to someone. And this is totally something you don't need to know. It's not necessary whatsoever, but if you do want to impress a Thai taxi driver or, someone that you meet on the street, you can simply say, "Kunshu arai ka?" Or if you're a guy, "Kunshu arai ka?" And that will basically ask them what's their name. So you can't really go beyond a conversation with that, but if you do want just kind of a simple one-liner to impress someone, try saying that to a Thai person. The final two things that I found myself saying often, and if you are not a student in Thailand, you probably won't say it all, but it got me out of some stickier situations. And what I would say if I felt like there was a person that was trying to scam me or, get more of my money, I would simply say Neksuksa-ti-Mahidol, which simply translates to student at Mahidol University, which is the university that I was at in Thailand. Yeah, surprisingly, I used this quite a few times. I really didn't expect that I would need to, but by saying that, I would get instant respect from Thai people. Now, I'm not saying you should use this if you don't look like a student whatsoever. If you're in your 40s, this might not pass for you. But if you are kind of in your mid-20s and you find yourself in a pickle where someone is trying to get money from you or someone's trying to, scam you in some way, you might be able to get away with saying Neksuksa-ti-Mahidol to try and get them to kind of get off your back, because I found that worked for me 100% of the time. So that pretty much wraps it up for all of the words that I used most while I was in Thailand. Again, this might not be enough for you. You might need to do some extra research, or this might be more than you'll ever need. But I think that'll be up for you to decide. Say if you have dietary restrictions or something like that, definitely do some more research. But all in all, I found it very easy to get around in Thailand and to communicate in English for the most part. And I found that Thai people really appreciated the extra bit of effort that I would put in to kind of speak their language, even if it was just a few words here and there. And I also do want to make sure that you know that sometimes you might have to repeat things for some of the people that you are communicating with, as they do not speak probably perfect English. And I really want to stress that it's important to be prepared for that and to be prepared to repeat yourself and to simplify your sentences so that it is more digestible for someone whose first language isn't English. And also, please be patient with the people that you're talking with while you are in another country, just in any country ever. If you are in a country where English is not the official language, please be respectful, please be patient, and know that that person that you're speaking with is kind of being inconvenienced by you, for lack of a better word. So be patient with them and help them try to understand what you are trying to communicate to them. And I've seen this time and time again, especially with older people. They're not at all forgiving of someone not understanding what they want. And that is just, to me, not okay. And I just want everyone to be patient with each other, because that is kind of part of traveling, and you just have to deal with it. The last thing that I do want to say before we go is that you should definitely just try and learn some of these words, because it goes so far when you're in Thailand. People appreciate hearing you try to speak their language so much, even if you completely butcher it, even if it's a terrible attempt. The fact that you're trying means so much to the people that you're speaking with. So definitely consider learning these words. Try your best to know them before you even get there, and so that you can impress, the taxi driver, the first taxi driver that you get. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, again, please leave me a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I post new videos every Friday, so stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!